like to wrap up with two questions about things that are outside of your control, which always seems very fair to ask you about, things outside of your own control. But still, as DA, you'd have a big voice on these things. So former Mayor Michael Hancock had his cross-agency downtown action team doing enforcement actions downtown and outreach. Mayor Mike Johnson has his Safe and Clean Downtown program. We're often talking about low-level municipal offenses that are not prosecuted by the Denver DA's office. They're handled at the city attorney's office. What's your general philosophy on how Denver should police or enforce or do outreach about the small things?
Yeah. So the small things, when I think about them, I think about people suffering on the streets. I think about it in two different ways. One, people who feel that there's a lot of dysregulated behavior and they don't want to come downtown, they don't want to work downtown, they don't want to go out to dinner, they don't want to go anywhere in Denver, they're not feeling safe. I have people, it's not just downtown, in all neighborhoods who get nervous walking their kids to school. That's not okay. But the main thing is, if we do nothing, what we're ultimately doing is ignoring people who are ill, people with severe mental illness and substance misuse disorder. We can't ignore. I really believe that mental health is health. And in the same way, I would never walk down the street or want my children to walk down the street, walk by someone who's bleeding from their head, and act like that's normal. We have got to make sure people are getting the help they need. And so, to answer your question with specifics, there are ways that the courts can help people get into treatment. It doesn't mean jail. It means using different kinds of commitment statutes. It means offering and having something called assisted outpatient therapy, which is being used in other jurisdictions to make a judge, not a criminal judge, monitor treatment. And that has shown great success.
John Walsh, how should Denver handle the low-level offenses that impact a community but wouldn't be handled by your office?
Well, I think you've raised an incredibly important issue, because to address these issues, we need to really have a complete collaboration with the city attorney's office, as you mentioned, with the DA's office, frankly, with service providers and with the courts, because it is the entire safety spectrum has to be handled. That's something I did as U.S. Attorney, working with DA's office, working with cities, working with people in the community. And one of the things that I would do right off the bat coming into office is sit down and make the DA's office an active partner with the city and with the city attorney's office, service providers in downtown, to develop a truly comprehensive, safe, clean, and vibrant downtown plan. The DA's office needs to be at the table, and I don't believe they are now. And that's something that I'd be absolutely committed to doing, so that you have essentially a spectrum of responses depending on circumstances that are the lower level offenses are involved. I'll also say this. It is absolutely the case that we should be expanding the so-called drug court that we have here in Denver, which addresses people who have committed crimes because of addiction or substance use disorder issues. The same is true. There's a small competency court, a mental health court here in Denver, that is doing great work. And it addresses the issues when you have someone who has serious mental illness who is caught up in the criminal justice system because of that. We need to expand that as well. Those are programs that are crucial. They can be on that line between the lower level offense the DA's office doesn't handle and something the DA's office does. It's that kind of collaborative approach that I've spent a whole lifetime professionally working on, and that I would bring to this job starting on January 1.